This is a round calabash or a round bottle gourd. I'm growing these in my garden, and that's what we're going to be cooking today. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Randeep, and I teach you how to make easy Indian food. Today we're going to be making a Kaddu Sabji. Sabji refers to any kind of vegetarian vegetable dish in Punjabi. So we're going to start off by just chopping up this calabash roughly. Most likely you can find different varieties or the same variety of calabash or bottle gourd in your local Asian or Indian markets. If you don't find this exact variety, that's totally fine. You could still use other varieties and just follow the same recipe. So I'm just giving it a rough chop. Normally I would peel this, but since this is pretty soft and fresh and hasn't been ripened all the way, the skin is pretty soft. But if you are buying this from the store, then you definitely want to peel it before using it. So this is just my first time making this sabzi at home. I'm trying to use up all my calabash using different recipes, so you'll probably see a few more recipes. I'll be just as surprised as you all with how it turns out at the end. So I have all of my ingredients ready to go, so let's get started. Alright, I start off with some ghee, and this is what I use in almost all of my dishes, but if you would like this to be completely vegan, then you can use oil of your choice here. So all of the ingredients and their measurements will be down in the description box below, so if you'd like to follow along with me, you can do so. I like to also add a pinch of cumin seeds and caraway seeds just to give it some extra flavor. You don't have to do this. This is a pretty forgiving recipe. You can kind of add in or leave out whatever you like or whatever you don't have. So next I added some ginger and garlic. Usually what I like to do is buy it in bulk, grind it up, and then freeze it into in ice cube trays, and then I just pop them into a large Ziploc bag and use them as I need them. So once the onions and ginger garlic are sauteed slightly, I add the tomatoes and my green chilies here. The tomatoes and green chilies are also from our garden, and if you don't have tomatoes, you can leave them out, or you can use tomato paste instead. And if you don't have green chilies, you can always swap it out for red chili powder. So we're just gonna saute everything together as best as possible. It doesn't have to be completely cooked because it's going to do a lot more cooking once we add the bottle gourd. So I'm next adding my salt, some turmeric, some Garam Masala, and just give it a quick mix. For the salt and the chili or the red chili powder, you can kind of add or not add as much as you like according to your tastes. So I added just a little bit of water there to deglaze the pan. You don't necessarily have to do that because the calabash is going to release a lot of water, and that'll kind of deglaze the pan for you, but I just kind of like to do this before I add in any vegetables. So now that the tadka has cooked a little bit, I'm adding the calabash. So this is a pretty large quantity, and you can see that my pot is pretty full, but you don't have to make this much. You can half this recipe if you are not feeding a large family. So this is it worked out as 4 servings for 2 times. So we used some of the leftovers the next day for lunch, and this was for dinner for 4 people. So just give it a quick mix, and it's not really going to mix together that well at the beginning. But once it starts releasing some of the juices, you'll be able to mix it all together better. So just cover it with the lid, keep checking in on it and stirring occasionally. Like I said, this is a pretty forgiving recipe. You can kind of just add or leave out whatever you have or don't have. So since some of us are, quarantined or staying at home or social distancing, if we don't have some ingredients right now, that's totally fine. Just kind of make do with what you have. So I'm adding this Wadi to it. It's called a Punjabi Wadi. This is made from some lentil beans ground up, and this just gives it some extra flavor. This is totally optional. You don't have to add it if you don't have it or if you don't want to. But this Wadi is just usually dried and hard, and you just add it in to a sabzi and it just gives it some extra flavor. There's lots of spices in there, but like I said, that's totally optional for you. Cook it uncovered for a little bit at the end so that the liquid can evaporate. Add some cilantro, and there you have it. The sabzi is finished. You can serve it with roti or just eat it by itself, and I like to put a little bit of whipped butter on top for extra flavor, but definitely you can leave that out if you would like to keep this vegan. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching.